Well, the Lord has spoken with me. On this past night, the Lord spoke with me about a major event that is coming to take place. Again, this past night, the Lord spoke with me about a major event that's going to take place on the earth here. I see a very huge explosion. There's going to be a very huge explosion, and I see in that dream the Lord showed me a huge explosion, and in that dream I see a lot of billowing of very black smoke, a cloud of smoke, and that cloud comes, billows into the sky and covers a very large area. And again, it looks more like some chemical weapons or chemicals that are going to explode. They look more like chemical weapons. So, again, the Lord has spoken with me in a dream this past night. There's going to be a huge explosion, and there seems the black, dark smoke billows from that explosion, and then chemicals disperse into the air. The smoke disperses into the air. It looks more like an explosion from chemical weapons or a chemical. But this is going to visit the earth. This is going to happen on the earth. But again, a huge explosion. The smoke that billows from there, the Lord showed me dark smoke, very, very thick dark. It looks like they speak chemicals. And then that smoke billows. But there's going to be a huge explosion that billows a huge cloud of thick, dark smoke, and then the smoke disperses into the air. May those who have ears listen. The voice of the Lord, He has spoken. And when these things come to pass, you shall know that surely indeed the Messiah is coming.
Lord Jehovah has spoken with me today about coming to 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2. And this is urgent. The Lord takes me to a place. There is a complex of buildings in that place. Then all of a sudden, we begin to run. The Lord puts me there. So I run. People are running for their lives. The roof, I thought it's an earthquake. So people are shouting, earthquake. I thought it's an earthquake. And we are running. The walls are falling down, and so forth. And however, I see the roof, an explosion through the roof. An explosion through the roof. And as we're running to the next building, from outside we meet a lot of shattering that has fallen, which are very reminiscent of an earthquake. And so that's why we're running, saying, is it an earthquake? So we're running. I was running with everyone in there, saying it's an earthquake. I was shouting it's an earthquake. They were shouting it's an earthquake, because we're seeing a lot of glass, a lot of walls have fallen, crumbled, and this building, the roof, big explosion over the roof. That's when again I stopped. I said, is this really an earthquake or this is an explosion? So we're running to the next side. With the next building, it also explodes. We were fearing it's an earthquake, so we're looking for where to hide. I thought it's an earthquake because we were shouting earthquake, earthquake as we're running and meeting a lot of fallen walls and glass, running to the next side. Then there was an explosion over the roof. A huge explosion over the roof of this building in this complex. In that particular complex, in the dream, flowed. I don't know what exploded, but we were running, shouting, and people were saying, earthquake, earthquake. So we're running, very violent. There was nowhere to run to. It was a very dreadful situation. There was really nowhere to run to. We had nowhere to run to because it was all over. As we were running towards the next building, the first main building is where there was that shaking, violent shaking, and then the explosion over the roof. When we came out is when we saw the all the shattered glass and the stones and everything. Everybody's running. Then realize the next building is also shaking. So this is very big situation. So I see people running. I see very serious emergency. People are running for their lives, but there is nowhere to get to. And the building explodes from the roof on top. Big smoke and over the roof. And then as we are running, we meet fallen glass. And so, meaning this place has also been shaken out here. And then we are running to the next building, but it's also about to explode or about to collapse. Again, the Lord took me at about 1 o'clock today, and it took me to a place. We were in a building. I could even see some people were sitting there talking. It was a building place. It looks like a big building complex. And then all of a sudden, we began to run, and people were shouting, earthquake, earthquake. So we were running away, and the buildings were shaking and collapsing and what. But when we stepped out, then there was the explosion over the roof, that went up as we were running. So even we feared to go to the next building because there was a lot of shattered glass and fallen walls and what, as we were running to try to go to the next one, which was also about to collapse or about to explode. This is the distress of the hour. The Messiah is coming. Right now, the Lord is purifying worship. He's purifying the hearts of men, preparing them for the coming kingdom of God. May the Lord bless you. Thank you.
And on this day, June 5th, 2020,
na katika siku hii tarehe 5 mwezi wa 6 mwaka 2020,
I give the prophecy of a very violent earthquake coming to the earth.
Ninapeana unabii wa tetemeko kubwa kabisa la ardhi ambalo linakuja duniani.
And a big explosion happening at the same time on the earth.
Na pia mlipuko mkubwa kabisa ukitendeka kwa wakati huo juu ya dunia.
Very violent.
La fujo kabisa.
There was a massive explosion. I mean, something the likes of I've never seen before.
It felt like an earthquake followed by a huge blast.
It's like an earthquake.
The Jordanian Seismological Observatory said the Beirut explosion was equivalent to a magnitude 4.5 earthquake on the Richter scale.
Large parts of Beirut are in ruins tonight from a blast that shook the capital. So far, we know at least 100 people have been killed, with around 4,000 others injured. The scale of the explosion is just astonishing. Buildings were destroyed far from the port where the blast was centred, and the damage is up to 10 kilometres away, meaning the whole city was affected. The blast was even heard by people in Cyprus, 200 kilometres off the coast.
Blasts that shook a city and injured thousands. This was the first, coming just after 6 in the evening at Beirut's main port, sending up a plume of thick smoke. Beneath it, fires raging and flashes of light, filmed by nearby residents. None of them could have guessed what would happen next. A second massive explosion that some described as like an earthquake.
They spoke with me about a major event that's going to take place I see a very huge explosion.
The blast changed tens of thousands of lives in a matter of moments. In what should have been the best day of her life, Dr. Isra Sablani poses for her wedding photos. As the blast rips through, she's seen running for her life.